Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.
Like I said, Flight Sports TV, that's where it's at.
Flight Sports TV.
What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports TV. You already know what it is. Listen, we got breaking news in the NBA right now. This thing is just catastrophic. Ladies and gentlemen, Ja Morant is back. The Memphis Grizzlies is going to be live for the postseason. Lord have mercy. I mean, I don't nobody want to see Memphis. Let me tell you something. Ja Morant is going to come back with ruthless abandonment. You heard it here first at Flight Sports. Ja Morant is going to make the NBA league pay for all of the things that just happened. Listen, Ja Morant's name been drugged through the mud. You know, they muddied his name. They doing him dirty. They just running him all through the mud. It's just downright sad what they have done to Mr. Ja Morant. And now Ja Morant is going to have an opportunity to invoke a little bit of revenge, a little bit of payback, if you will. Ladies and gentlemen, the league has came out and suspended Mr. Ja Morant for a total of eight basketball games. The more and more of the latest is coming out, but really the gist of the whole situation is Ja Morant will be back for the postseason. And that was pretty much the situation where nobody understood what was going to happen. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I'm happy Ja's back, but if this was another player, trust me, he would have been out the league. Let me tell you something. The NBA, I'm not going to say that they couldn't afford Ja being out the postseason, but it would have never been a good look. And you signing TV deals worth like millions, right? I'm telling you, you would know, Lord knows how much they said, billions of dollar TV deals. You know, Ja Morant, you think he going to miss ESPN, TNT, ABC? You know, in the playoffs, everything is on national television. This big business, ladies and gentlemen. Ja Morant is back, point blank, period. I definitely want to point that out, to say the least. I'm just ecstatic for Ja Morant. That's really the major key of this whole affair here. Somebody, shout out Thunder, he said, I expected 15-game suspension, but I was wrong. Yeah, everybody was wrong. You know, we're thinking the Ja Morant situation was going to go like that, but it didn't. Let me know if y'all can hear me right now. I'm trying to get some information on the latest. Let me know how my connection is right now, if y'all can hear me good, because I want to read off some of the things, variables of this case that the NBA, like I said, they put this thing into investigation. Basically, the league is hitting Ja Morant for 8 games for conduct detrimental to the league. We all know what we witnessed at that nightclub. Some people are going to take whatever they want to take. But bottom line is, you heard the club staff. Somebody say, yes, okay, thank you. I appreciate that, Thunder. You heard the club staff say that that basically Ja Morant did nothing wrong. He didn't. Now, like I said, there's big business involved. You know, when you got to protect the $1 million prize. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some things got sent through the mail. You feel me? When things need to get done. Trust me, I'm from Long Island. I know when things need to get pushed through. I mean, I'm not one of these fools that's sitting around under the table. I'm not gonna condemn him. That ain't my business. I ain't the judge, jury, or the executioner. But I'm here to tell you that Ja Morant is back. But hopefully Ja Morant learns from this. Now you're gonna have your talking heads feel like, oh man, 8 games ain't enough. Ja should have felt the pain of missing the play. I could hear Skip Bayless right now advocating for him to miss the whole entire postseason for the antics that he pulled. I believe that Ja Morant is going through the proper protocol. Remember, he didn't break no laws here. So as many people want to sit up here and piss on Ja Morant, shit on Ja Morant, Ja didn't break a law. So how much needs to be paid? Shout out Malaya. I'm just ecstatic for for the Memphis Grizzlies because they have been becoming, like I said, dare I say, a little bit of an underdog. I think people were starting to keep Memphis in their eyesight. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. I think we could take these dudes. And that was the attitude I was peeping around the league, especially headed into the postseason. You already know that the Memphis Grizzlies is at the top of the food chain in the West off of Ja Morant and all of the things that he did this season to get them there, right? Okay. And then after, like I said, now no Ja, you got all these teams down bottom feasting at the likelihood of facing a team like that with no Ja Morant. Let me tell you something. The tables have been turned, and there's going to be some regrouping today. Because listen, would you rather face Memphis or one of these other heavyweights? Some people might feel like they'll take their chances against Ja. But I believe Ja coming out with reckless abandonment now. I think they pissed Ja Morant off, and that was the most deadly thing that they could have done was piss Ja Morant off. Y'all let me know your thoughts. Ja Morant games is okay. Listen, I'm with the 8-game suspension. I don't feel like it. Listen, I just didn't want Ja Morant out the playoffs. I think that was the major key of this whole situation. Why does Ja Morant got to miss the postseason? That would have hurt me, and I think that they would have got cheated. Because believe it or not, as much as you want to ridicule the Memphis Grizzlies, as much as you want to sit up there and hate on them, that people hate the team did this, these guys do that, the antics, the tough guy. Let me tell you something. Memphis worked their asses off under their new coach. I don't know if it was a new coach or what. My bad. They had this coach or whatever that they have there, and they really shape shifted this whole squad this season. And they got this team to the promised land in terms of getting to where they need to be. And Ja Morant was spectacular. So if the fact that John could possibly be robbed of a playoff berth, especially with the Memphis. Lord knows where Memphis would have finished if this would have never occurred. Because this was a major setback, not only for Ja, but for Memphis. Now, I don't think he ain't been going that long, So I wonder, are they going to add in with the time that he's been out? I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to get some more and more intel on the situation. Like I said, just make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to Flight Sports TV for more news, updates, and more on this situation. Because we truly got a situation here. But nonetheless, I hope that we can put this behind us. I hope the Ja slander ends. We don't have to continue to ridicule him, shit on him, and talk about how bad he is and all that. I think that needs to be done. And I'm hoping and praying for the best for Ja Morant because he definitely deserves it. This man is a superstar in this league. The man was drafted number 2 by Memphis. Nobody envisioned this, and people took it to the next level. Like I was listening to other podcasts, not even basketball. Everybody and their mother who are not even in sports tried to get a piece of this story. And I think they all should be held accountable, and they all should be ashamed of themselves. Say Shea and OKC are 8th in the West. Yeah, listen, I'm telling you. Shout out to Shea and them. But back to Ja and them. This is going to galvanize the troops out there in Memphis. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out guns blazing, off of this situation that is occurring with Ja Morant. Like I said, their brother was just completely ridiculed all in the media. And this all came out by the commissioner. And it says that he is eligible to return against the March 20th against Dallas. So, okay, now I got more and more details coming out on the situation with Ja Morant. We're going to see Ja Morant on March 20th, y'all. So basically, they counting the games that he missed. Ja got served a break with this. He got a superstar break, because he's basically coming right back. They basically giving him time served type shit. I just feel like obviously if it wasn't Ja Morant, let's say this was Dylan Brooks, I think he would have been suspended out indefinitely, probably out for the rest of the postseason or something like that. But the fact, like I said, this is Ja Morant. I hope he understands the importance of who he is. I hope this is a true evaluation of everything, of the situation, of the Memphis Grizzlies. Is this a wake-up call for the entire franchise? Not just Ja, because we got to remember, Ja wasn't the only one getting ridiculed for doing all of these crazy antics and things of that nature. that people didn't like, people didn't agree with. But I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. I love what I'm seeing from Mr. Ja Morant. I love it. Giles has to come back and do what he has to do. Because prior to this incident, nobody had anything to say about Ja. Nobody was sitting there dogging Ja Morant out, saying this, saying that. None of that was going on. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts about him returning against Dallas. I think this is a pivotal move. The Dallas Mavericks, that's gonna be a hell of a game, y'all. You know, Ja Morant versus Luka and company. Let's see if guys gonna be back, because we all know the Kyrie. I don't know if people been living under a rock, but news is broken on Kyrie. We got a lot of news to be touching on. Kyrie Irving is out with a foot. I'm hearing the reports that the foot injury is not looking good. You know, that was the last time I heard, and that was earlier today. So I don't know what the hell is going on with Kyrie Irving. And it's as he played his last game in Dallas, and he just got there. You know, and things have been rocky. So I don't know what's going to happen. But all I know is Ja Morant will return against the Dallas Mavericks. We should see him versus Luka, and I think that's going to be an amazing encounter, if you ask me. And Ja hasn't. I think he's going to erupt. I don't think Ja going to come back passing. I think he's going to come back low profile, attack mode, and all out domination. And he's got to know that he received a break. Now, I don't know all of the facts of the people that may have fell back for him, like the power aides of the world, this of the world. Let me tell you something. If Ja go out there and perform on that floor, it ain't gonna be much people gonna be able to say, because it's not like he's out forever. This just happened, you know, and he was out, he served a suspension, and he's coming back in the same season. This is not a situation like you've seen other players where they get an issue like this. We don't see him for a year or so or more. And then, you know, I think Ja Morant has a possibility to come back and regain all of the favor that he had prior to the incident that occurred. Because you got to understand, a lot of people walked away from Ja, unfortunately. He got a sneaker coming out with Nike, his first signature sneaker. Like I said, I'm not sure I'm not following the sneaker, but if you got information, put that in the comment section. But nonetheless, you got all this business coming up for Ja, the Powerade deal. The list goes on. You know, you're one of the faces of the league, the face of the franchise in Memphis. You know, people say that he may have been adopting Memphis culture. You know, I listen, at the end of the day, we all know what's going on in Memphis. Memphis is popping, you know, obviously with the rappers, but just the scenery. Just forget about the rap for a second. Memphis is a treacherous place. You know, shout out to the city of Memphis. There's a beautiful side of Memphis, and there's another side of Memphis. And Ja Morant, I think he represents all of them. You see all of these guys that come to the game. You got the Finesse Two Times, the Yo Gottis, the Key Glocks. I mean, the list goes on to all of the people that show up, you know, for Ja Morant. And they got Ja Morant in their heart. You know, they riding with Ja to the death. You know, so you got Ja Morant representing the city of Memphis at a worldwide level. You know, do you see how all of this stuff becomes a ramification, you know, for Ja Morant? You know, you gotta represent your basketball team. You gotta represent your family. That's the things that Ja Morant needs to represent, not represent, you know, the bad parts of Memphis that people, you know, turn a blind eye to. We all know it's poverty going on in Memphis. And I think that's another thing that people need to incorporate in. You know, we need to start getting with these cities, like some of these rappers that's in these major cities where a lot of activity is going on. I think they need to use they pull. The NBA need to use their reach, not just come out and suspend motherfuckers. Go out there and do something. You out in Memphis, Ja Morant, like I said, what he's doing right, what he was doing, that's going on in the city of Memphis. That's running rampant. Did we just turn a blind eye? You know, Ja Morant is the kind of guy, he could go to one of these neighborhoods or, you know, speak to some of these people and create significant change in the city of Memphis. I'm stopping crime. Not saying that he would stop it totally, but you could possibly, you know, create some kind of slowage. And you can see that with various other stars. And I want to see the NBA truly do something for the neighborhoods that some of these guys are playing in, where you like shit going on in Chicago. The fact that the NBA didn't get involved at all in none of those things in Chicago, but just want to condemn people and things. I mean, we got to get out of that. You know, we need true help and healing, you know, in some of these cities. And Ja Morant, instead of ridiculing Ja, we need to get behind Ja Morant. You know, also by getting behind Ja Morant, we need to get behind the city of Memphis to create a series of change, you know, because what Ja did is obviously going to put a negative hamper on Memphis, but we got to understand it's beautiful people in Memphis, just like any neighborhood, you know, and it is what it is. A lot of people that's not from, you might be from overseas somewhere and you've never been accustomed to what's going on, you know, in some of the neighborhoods in America, you know, but the same shit going on in the hood in New York is going on in the hood in Memphis. The same thing going on in the hood in Cali is just different players in the game, you know, but it's all the same shit. And the NBA need to use this outreach. They in all of these make-a-wish things. They in all of these bullshits. You know, we need to make a wish and they need to do something for the hood. You know, because you got LeBron, he in Akron. When are they gonna come together and pool their resources and put something in the hood? I mean, seriously, we need to hold these players accountable. Do you see the deals that these players are signing? 200 million. This shit about to go up. Do you know that? They got another TV deal coming up. We got to hold these players account. What are y'all doing with y'all money? Listen, do not allow these dudes to say, hey, man, we made the largest donation that ain't nobody going to see. Oh, hell no. Hell no. We can't allow this. You know, shout out Hoop Jargon in the building. He says that's the thing, though, Flight. That's the community responsibility, though, not the NBA person. Now, I'm with you with that. I just feel like I said, the outreach that these players have, you know, I just feel like they could do a little bit more. Obviously, they can't stop it totally. But some of these things that they do, you hear them sometimes they go to jails. I mean, Carmelo was doing it in New York. Carmelo did a lot in New York City that maybe people that didn't really see because it wasn't highlighted at a national level. Like Carmelo went to Rikers Island, you know, a couple of times. You know, Carmelo was out. It was a situation with the kid Junior in New York, you know, where a dude got, I'm not going to talk about the gang or whatever, but it was a guy that got really hurt really bad and he ended up losing his life. It was a young child. You had Carmelo Anthony in the like I said, I don't want to get too off track, but it's just the city of Memphis. You know, I just, like I said, pray for the city of Memphis, pray for Ja Morant, because the NBA as a whole, instead of condemning Ja, they need to get behind Ja and some of the things and interests that he has in the city. You know, because he represented Memphis at the end of the day. A lot of like I said, he might not admit it or anything like that, but I do believe the city of Memphis was playing a major part in what this man does, and, you know, some of the things that he's a part of. You know, it just is what it is at the end of the day, man. We gotta put all into consideration. You know, shout out all y'all that's in the chat right now, man. I appreciate all y'all for tuning in, man. We have breaking news in the NBA. We got so much breaking news. All of this stuff popping off all at one time, man. It's truly ridiculous, to say the least, man. Let me know y'all thoughts on this situation, man. Let me just get to the comment section. Flight, Memphis streets aren't wild. John, NBA could partner to get guys involved, you know, and could change some things. That's what I